Good morning. This is Ed Esberg, and I'm here to introduce the FRIP F-Gas Reduction Incentive Program. This is an overview of the technologies that are available for food retailers. Next slide, please. One of the easiest ways to do this is the old conventional one-on-one condensing unit. These are now available in the marketplace from multiple manufacturers, usually 2 through 7 tons of capacity. Mostly applied to convenience stores where you have a dairy walk-in or a medium temp walk-in, a beverage walk-in, maybe a one lineup of cases. Generally good for stores under 10,000 square feet. And generally when you only have 6 or 7 or less systems and you want to have a one-on-one application. And these are now available from multiple manufacturers. Next slide. Next slide, please. Some of the considerations for these one-on-one units are they're easy to install. They can be air-cooled or adiabatic gas coolers. They're probably a little less efficient than a multi-compressor system, but for small loads, one-on-one systems, they're very, very reliable and certainly efficient enough. They still require a well-trained technician, so you'll have to check with your service company to make sure they have the capability of maintaining them. These units generally sit on the roof or outside the building, but most applications are on the roof. Next slide, please. The next option might be a secondary system, and this might be a partial remodel or a full remodel. But this is where you would cool CO2 and recirculate it to new fixtures and cool that CO2 with another condensing unit. Therefore, the CO2 is not compressed and operates at a much lower pressure. The applications for this is where you have a really good mechanical system that you don't want to get rid of. And so you can hook these units up to your existing mechanical system and then use CO2 to circulate to the new fixtures. Generally, the existing mechanical system will need to have more than 7 years of life. And when you just want to change 1 or 2 lineups, then this kind of a unit will allow you to keep everything else in the store. And let's say you want to do a produce remodel, you can put one of these units on the roof and just change your produce cases. These would mainly be used on full-size supermarkets, generally more than 15,000 square feet. They add a lot of flexibility to being able to do partial or full remodels or do a remodel over time with very little disruption to the sales floor. Next slide, please. Some of the considerations for this, these are very cost effective in that you save the cost of a whole new machine room. You're operating 2 different refrigeration systems at the same time. Makes the remodel less disruptive for store operations in that you don't have to build a whole new machine room. You can put one of these units on the roof, go in and change the cases over one night. Very little disruption to store operations. The main drawback to this approach is that the retailer will still have to convert the high side to a natural refrigerant sometime in the future. That may be 5 or 10 years, but it is a drawback to this kind of a system. Next slide, please. Another option is the full transcritical rack. You might have 1 or 4 racks depending on the load in each store. You could have multiple remote gas coolers or condensers. The compressor racks probably need to be in a machine room or in a machine house. So you have the consideration of where you're going to put that house, or is it going to be able to fit in your existing machine room? These are generally applied in major remodels where all the fixtures are going to be changed and you want to do it all at one time. And generally for supermarkets larger than 15,000 square feet, although it can be done in the 10 to 15,000 square foot range. But economically, generally, these are better for the larger supermarkets. Next slide, please. Some of the considerations for this, on the positive side, they are future-proof as far as regulations are concerned. They're an all-natural refrigerant. You won't have to be going back and do anything anytime soon that we can foresee. It will require full permitting by the building department. This will constitute a fairly major remodel. And it requires some exact planning to keep the existing equipment operating during the remodel. And you'll have to operate 2 systems at one time, obviously, unless you're going to shut the store down, which most grocers do not like to do. Next slide, please. And the final piece of equipment is the R290 self-contained air-cooled or micro-distributed with a water loop. And that means there's a compressor or multiple compressors on each 8 or 12 foot section of case. You could have 2 or 3 units per case. And on a large store, you might have 100 to 250 compressor systems in the store. This is an easy remodel. You get rid of your machine room, all the equipment's out on the sales floor. It is R290, which is considered a natural refrigerant. So it's certainly an option you want to consider. Next slide, please. And the considerations are, you have to be careful on the energy. The current studies show that there's some energy penalty, and depending on your application and location, will determine how much that energy penalty is. This is a really good application for small format stores where you have 5 or 6, 7 cases. You have to consider your air conditioning, especially if you go to the new air-cooled self-contained cases, which are now eligible for the incentive, which they weren't in phase 1. But if you're putting a bunch of these in a store, you have to look at your air conditioning to make sure they can handle the heat of rejection. But we want to emphasize that self-contained air-cooled R290 cases are now eligible for the incentive program. Next slide, please. And so your next steps is to make sure that you're eligible for this program and that your existing store is registered with the California RMP. Make sure you are. Then go to their website and create a login. And if you have any questions, you can contact FRIP. Their phone number's there and their website's there. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me directly. My email is esberg@nasrc.org. Thank you.